Tonight, breaking news, the new tornado and flood alerts as we come on the air as the death toll rises in that once-in-a-lifetime storm ravaging the Midwest and South. Investors and consumers brace for more pain as additional tariffs are set to go into effect. And the battle of the March Madness Titans, UConn overwhelmed South Carolina, taking their 12th national title. First, at least 18 people have now died in that devastating days-long storm. Powerful winds, more than 90 reported tornadoes, several twisters touching down, ripping roofs off of homes, reducing entire neighborhoods to rubble. The new flood warnings tonight. Morgan Norwood reports from Memphis, and our weather team times out the forecast. The news just in, UConn is back, defeating South Carolina to become the new women's college basketball national champions. Faith Abubey is at the big game in Tampa. The White House tonight holding course on President Trump's tariffs after the worst week on Wall Street since the pandemic. Americans are bracing for price increases, watching their 401ks dwindle. The president golfing in Florida and reading headlines about the trade war. The administration now says other countries are ready to come to the negotiating table. The worst measles outbreak in West Texas in 30 years claims another victim. A second school-age child has died. And the message from Robert Kennedy Jr., who says he went to Texas to comfort the family. Mireya Villarreal is in Texas. The new fears on college campuses as the Trump administration revokes the visas of some international students across the country, most with little or no notice. The Duke basketball star who may no longer be eligible to stay in the U.S., Melissa Dunn from the campus of UCLA. Two top DOJ immigration attorneys are put on leave by the Justice Department in the case of a man wrongfully deported to a notorious prison in El Salvador, and now the looming deadline in that case. Pope Francis' surprise public appearance and the latest on his condition. The rare virus that killed Gene Hackman's wife now linked to more deaths. What we're learning tonight. The remarkable moment, a missing 2-year-old boy in Michigan found. A capital achievement. Alex Ovechkin topples the Great One's record, which stood for 31 years. And America Strong tonight, the beloved driver who at 84 always delivers safely and with a smile.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. Tonight, the new flood dangers targeting storm-weary areas in the South and Midwest where the deadly and historic weather has killed at least 18 people. Powerful floodwaters leaving a trail of destruction across Hardy, Arkansas, ripping homes from their foundations, washing away roads and bridges and flipping cars over. This drone footage captured the devastation across Dawson Springs, Kentucky, an entire town nearly submerged underwater. Flooding rains from Arkansas to Tennessee, including Memphis and Nashville. Our weather team is standing by with the forecast. But first, ABC's Morgan Norwood leads us off from Memphis.
Tonight, that life-threatening flood threat after historic rainfalls from that once-in-a-generation storm that killed at least 18 people. The massive, slow-moving weather system dumping torrential rains over the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys for 4 days straight. Bloated rivers in the region now expected to crest in the coming days. Memphis seeing its wettest April day on record Saturday, drenched with nearly 5.5 inches of rain.
This popular walking trail in the Memphis area swallowed by the Wolf River. It's somewhere back there, but it's underneath all of the now rising floodwaters, and there is growing concern for what could happen next.
Structures in Harvey, Arkansas, left severely damaged. Homes pushed off their foundations, roads washed away, and vehicles flipped over by the powerful floodwaters. The rainfall, a 1-2 punch, pummeling areas hit by tornadoes from the same system. More than 90 twisters reported since last week. Tornado watches issued for today for parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. The string of tornadoes forcing these residents to a shelter in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
There's just been so many tornadoes lately that it's just scary of the devastation, so many different places.
And Lindsay, here in Memphis, the Wolf River has already crested, and it'll still be pretty slow to recede. And tonight, that is the big concern with all of this rainfall that we've been seeing across the storm zone, multiple states. It's going to drain into waterways like this, and it could spell trouble for days to come. Lindsay?
Those floodwaters only adding insult to injury. Morgan, thank you. That 4-day stretch of relentless weather is finally on the move. Let's bring in meteorologist Danny Beckstrom with our New York station WABC. Danny, it seems like flooding is still a serious threat.
A major threat, Lindsay, because 3 months worth of rain fell in just 4 days in parts of Arkansas and Kentucky. And all of that rain now has to drain into the area's rivers, which keeps the flood threat in play even as the rain itself moves on. Right now, 16 rivers in major flood stage, at least river gauges in major flood stage from Arkansas to Kentucky. And in the coming days, that number could triple. The system itself bringing widespread rain and storms to parts of the southeast still, with damaging winds and an isolated tornado possible into tonight before the line moves to the southeast coast on Monday. Behind the system, we get a shot of drier but much colder air sweeping in across the east to start the work week. Morning lows dip below freezing from Chicago to New York City. And in the mid-south, 30s and 40s mean a cold start in many of these communities still cleaning up from the storm damage. Lindsay?
New meaning to those April showers. All right, Danny, thank you. Now to tonight's other big headline, the showdown in Tampa between two titans. The Connecticut Huskies defeating South Carolina for the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. The two biggest programs in the nation going head-to-head. This is UConn's 12th women's tournament title and the first since 2016. Here's ABC's Faith Abubey. She was front and center for all the action on the court.
The final page in the book of Beckers is title number 12 for UConn.
Tonight, the UConn Huskies are national champions. The final in what was built as a heavyweight showdown between two of the nation's most dominating teams, a rematch of the 2022 championship, which South Carolina won.
Here's Beckers. Her jumper is good.
UConn overpowering South Carolina for most of the game as they lift their 12th national title, their first since 2016.
The lead is 30, and the freshman is thriving.
UConn senior star Paige Beckers, who will be joining the WNBA next year, finally reaching that elusive goal with her first championship.
The emotion pouring out of Paige Beckers as she hugs the entire UConn coaching staff.
The game was dominated by UConn senior AZ Fudd.
Up in the corner, Fudd, you bet!
With 24 points, and freshman forward Sarah Strong, who also dropped 24 points in a commanding performance. Coach Gino Auriemma emotional after the game.
And it's because these players make me want to hang in there every day.
Tonight, they're celebrating on the streets of Connecticut as the Huskies are bringing home their record 12th national title.
And Lindsay, with that commanding performance here in Tampa, the UConn women's team now holds the record among both men and women college basketball. All eyes now turning to Texas, where the men will play their final game tomorrow, Florida versus Houston. Houston getting into that final game after the dramatic upset over Duke last night. It will sure be a fantastic game. Lindsay.
It sure will, and congrats to the Huskies, Faith. Thank you. The White House is standing firm on the president's sweeping tariffs. President Trump is urging Americans to hang tough as the administration says more countries are now ready to come to the negotiating table. Another round of tariffs is set for Wednesday. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Tonight, President Trump defending his tariffs after the worst market sell-off since the pandemic and growing warnings of a possible recession.
What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger. And eventually, it'll be a country like no other. It'll be the most dominant country economically in the world.
The White House tonight vowing to hold the course on President Trump's sweeping tariffs.
There's no postponing. They are definitely going to stay in place for days and weeks. That is sort of obvious.
The president seen reading headlines about his escalating trade war and playing in today's senior club championship at one of his Florida golf clubs. Trump posting this video teeing off while urging Americans to hang tough, saying it won't be easy, but the end result will be historic. The administration now saying countries are looking to make a deal.
More than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation.
The president's baseline minimum 10% tariff on all countries that trade with the U.S. snapping into place over the weekend, and steeper reciprocal tariffs set to kick in later this week. Meanwhile, Americans watching their 401ks shrink, now bracing for higher prices on everything from groceries to furniture and electronics to cars. Some scrambling to make big purchases now. Rob Blackwell of Virginia deciding to sign a lease on a new car, saying the tariffs forced his hand.
Once the president made an announcement that he was going forward with the auto tariffs, I knew I had to move. Ultimately, it's going to save me thousands of dollars to move now as opposed to waiting.
And White House officials tonight trying to downplay any stock market anxieties, insisting there will be a rebound despite the S&P 500 losing more than $5 trillion in value in just 2 days last week, and new fears tonight that the stock market could plunge even further tomorrow, the first day of trading on Wall Street since those widespread tariffs officially began this weekend. Lindsay.
Jay O'Brien from the White House for us. Thanks so much, Jay. Now to that alarming measles outbreak in West Texas, claiming the life of another child. ABC News confirms that an unvaccinated 8-year-old girl died last week. Measles cases in Texas are now nearing 500. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services, is in Texas tonight. Here's ABC's Mireya Villarreal.
Tonight, Texas health officials on high alert, confirming a second child has died in the state's worst measles outbreak in 30 years. There have been at least 499 reported cases and 56 hospitalizations so far. It comes as an unvaccinated child died in late February, and 1 week later, an unvaccinated adult tested positive in New Mexico. That state experiencing its worst outbreak in 40 years, with at least 54 confirmed cases.
It is very hard to see these kids treating them. You see them struggling to breathe. They don't want to eat or drink. They're dehydrated. They have high fever. They're miserable.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy facing criticism over his handling of the outbreak, and who has been critical of vaccines, making a surprise trip to West Texas today to meet with the family of the child who recently died. There are now more than 600 confirmed measles cases across 21 states, more than doubling the number in all of 2024. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, a medical doctor who also cast a key vote confirming Secretary Kennedy, posting online today, "Everyone should be vaccinated. Top health officials should say so unequivocally before another child dies."
Lindsay, officials are extremely concerned about this outbreak. In the year 2000, the U.S. declared that this disease had been eliminated, but now they could lose that elimination status if they continue to battle this current outbreak into January of next year. Lindsay?
Concerning. All right, Mireya, thank you. The Trump administration is revoking visas for some international students at colleges and universities across the country. One of those possibly affected is a Duke University freshman from South Sudan and a star of this season's March Madness tournament. Some students have been targeted over pro-Palestinian activism, but for others, it's unclear. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Tonight, international students at colleges and universities around the country reeling. The federal government revoking a number of visas with little to no warning. Schools in Massachusetts, Ohio, Kentucky, Minnesota, Colorado, among those nationwide announcing yanked visas. And in California, schools including Stanford, Berkeley, and UCLA saying some of their students are also affected.
It's very jarring to see, and I feel like it's very, very scary. My parents were international students from Jamaica when they went to college, so I feel like it's very close to me.
Does that concern you for your classmates?
Yeah, I think it's very, very concerning.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio also announcing yesterday, "I am taking actions to revoke all visas held by South Sudanese passport holders effective immediately," alleging South Sudan hasn't been taking back their own citizens in a timely manner. The measure possibly affecting Duke University basketball player Kaman Malach, a freshman from South Sudan and a star of this season's March Madness tournament. The terminated visas a part of what appears to be mass cancellations by the federal government. These incidents coming as the Trump administration alleges violations by some students holding visas or green cards. Some students even detained, including a Tufts Fulbright scholar. Federal agents claiming her visa was revoked and the DOJ accusing her of supporting Hamas after co-authoring a pro-Palestinian op-ed for her student newspaper. And Mahmoud Khalil also detained after his green card was revoked. The Columbia University graduate, a prominent pro-Palestinian protester on campus. Attorneys for both have said their detentions are unlawful and are calling for their release. Lindsay, this follows that executive order from President Trump in January where he revoked student visas for students who participated in pro-Palestinian protests, including some of those protests we saw right here in UCLA last spring. Lindsay.
Melissa, thank you. Next tonight, 2 top immigration attorneys with the Department of Justice put on leave after a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to send the man deported to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador back to the U.S. Here's ABC's Alex Prochet.
Tonight, one of the Justice Department's top immigration attorneys on indefinite paid leave for failure to zealously advocate for the Trump administration's interest after a federal judge ordered this man returned to the U.S. from the notorious mega prison in El Salvador where he was sent by mistake. Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia's wife, who is a U.S. citizen, identified him in this prison photo and is suing for his immediate return.
Kilmar, if you can hear me, I miss you so much.
Arez Ruveni, who argued the administration's case, repeatedly struggled in court, telling the judge he was frustrated that I have no answers for you to so many of her questions, including under what authority Abrego Garcia was taken into custody. Attorney General Pam Bondi also placing his boss on leave for failure to supervise a subordinate, saying any attorney who fails to advocate on behalf of the United States will face consequences.
He shouldn't have taken the case. He shouldn't have argued it if that's what he was going to do.
Lindsay, the government has until midnight tomorrow to return Abrego Garcia back to U.S. soil. The judge tonight saying the question isn't the government's inability to return him to the U.S., but rather their lack of desire. Lindsay.
Alex Prochet for us. Thanks so much. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. New cases of the rare and deadly disease that killed actor Gene Hackman's wife, and the remarkable rescue Michigan State troopers race to find a missing toddler. Next tonight, an incredible rescue in Michigan. State troopers used a helicopter equipped with heat-seeking technology to locate a missing toddler. The 2-year-old boy was found curled up in a ditch wearing only a diaper. Officers on the ground brought the child to an ambulance. Police say he was not injured. Pope Francis today with a surprise for the faithful in St. Peter's Square. The 88-year-old pontiff in a wheelchair, appearing weak, frail, and on oxygen. This was his first public appearance since being released from the hospital 2 weeks ago. When we come back, the Great One's record that many said could never be broken falls. To the index now, health officials in Central California are confirming the deaths of 3 people from Hantavirus. That's the same rare but often fatal disease contracted through rodent droppings that killed Gene Hackman's wife back in February. All 3 of the California deaths occurred in the past 2 months at Mammoth Lakes. It's unclear how they contracted the disease. Well, they say records are made to be broken, but this one has stood the test of time, 31 years, in fact. Today, Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin surpassed Wayne Gretzky's 894 career goals scored, slamming number 895 into the net against the New York Islanders. Gretzky was on hand. The Great One, as he is known, congratulated Ovechkin. The NHL commissioner said it was a record no one thought would ever be broken. When we come back, America strong, still driving after all these years. Finally tonight, 55 years, more than 1.5 million packages, and he still delivers.
Put the seatbelt on, test the horn.
George Ludovico has started his day just like this for 61 years.
This is what I drive to Philadelphia every day. I first started on December the 13th, 1963, as Christmas help. I've done about every job that they have here.
He gets ready for work around 2 in the morning. At 84, George still works full-time as a driver out of Vineland, New Jersey. He was recently inducted into the UPS Circle of Honor, celebrated for 55 years of safe driving.
Give it up for George, everybody.
His safety tips?
Make sure you clear an intersection, always be alert, and always expect the unexpected.
Something he likely learned while serving in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Since then, he's logged more than 2 million miles driving for UPS.
Stops delivered, 1,787,500.
That was all 1 week.
Packages delivered, 3.6 million packages.
Oh my God, no wonder my back hurts. I enjoy getting up and going to work. Here's the crew. Smile.
Hip, hip. Give it up for George, everyone.
Tantamount to retiring that jersey. Thanks so much for watching. David Muir back here tomorrow. I'm Lindsay Davis. Have a great evening. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.